In this video, we're building a sleep tracking app similar to Whoop, using nothing but prompts on base 44. It's called Slumber, and it covers the core features you'd want: sleep score, recovery score, sleep debt, sleep stage breakdowns, an AI coach that reads your data, bedtime reminders to your email, trend charts, and CSV Export. And at the end, I'll explain how to connect it to your actual Whoop or Aura data. This is a full follow-along tutorial. We're going to encounter errors along the way, and I'll show you exactly how to fix them. All the prompts are in the description, including the fixed prompts, so you can copy them as we go. The link to Base 44 is also in the description. They offer a free plan to get started, and you won't even need a credit card. Just sign in with your email and build along with me. All right, ready? Let's get into it. Step 1. Foundation, design system, and all pages. The first prompt is the most important one in the entire build. Everything that comes after builds on what gets generated here: the design, the layout, the navigation, the page structure. If the first prompt is vague, you spend the rest of the build fixing problems that shouldn't exist. I told Base 44 the app is called Slumber, and it should look and feel like Whoop with dark background, card-based layouts, and circular score dials color-coded green and red. I gave it the exact hex values for each color, the fonts, the card background color, and navigation structure. I was also very deliberate about the mobile layer rules. I told it that no element should ever exceed the screen width, that horizontal overflow should be hidden on every container, and that the circular dials especially need enough padding so their strokes never get clipped at the edges. Now, that level of specificity up front is what saves you from spending hours on layout fixes later. The 6 pages I asked for: home with the 3 score dials and a last night summary card, a sleep tab for logging and history, a sleep detail view, a trends page, a journal for behavior tags, and a settings page. I also asked for mock data on every screen so nothing looks empty from the start. Now, what came back was already a working app. Dark theme, all 6 pages, the circular dials, the navigation, all of it in one prompt. Now that is our foundation. Step 2. Score calculations. With the structure in place, the next step is to make the 3 dials actually mean something. Right now, they're showing placeholder numbers. I need them to calculate from real logic. Sleep score is the simplest one: actual sleep hours divided by your sleep goal, multiplied by 100, capped at 100. Recovery score is a weighted average of 3 factors: sleep score at 50%, your quality rating from the log entry at 30%, and how consistent your bedtimes have been at 20%. And sleep debt is the running total of how many hours you are behind or ahead across the last 7 days. I also told Base 44 that all 3 dials need to update automatically whenever a new sleep log is saved, so the dashboard always reflects the most current data. Step 3. Data consistency fixes. This is where I hit my first real issue, and honestly, it's one of the most common things that happens when building with AI. Different pages started showing different numbers for the same data. The sleep score on the home dashboard and the sleep detail page were showing different values for the same log entry, and the sleep debt was showing an impossibly large number, over 100 hours in debt. What was happening is that the home dashboard was doing its own internal circulation instead of reading from the same database entry as the detail page. So I set a targeted fixed prompt telling Base 44 that all 3 dials must source from one single data store with no hard-coded values anywhere. The sleep debt issue needed one extra step. I also had to specify that days with no log entry should be excluded from the calculation entirely, not counted as 0 hours slept. Because if you only logged 1 night and it treats the other 6 days as 0 hours, the debt becomes wildly wrong. I also noticed the last night card on the home dashboard was calculating total sleep as raw time between bedtime and wake time, which isn't the same as actual sleep. I told it to read the stored value from the database directly rather than doing its own math. Now, data is consistent. Before moving forward, there are 2 small cosmetic things on the dials I want to clean up, and then we're wiring up the email reminder. Step 4. Dial polish and email reminder. The sleep debt dial was staying green even when the value was negative. So I sent a prompt to flip the ring color to red whenever debt is below 0. I also noticed the text inside the debt dial was slightly smaller than the other two, so I standardized the font size across all three. Then came the email reminder. The bedtime recommendation and the send me tonight's reminder button were already on the homepage from prompt 1, but they weren't wired to anything yet. I asked Base44 to connect the button to its built-in email system. When tapped, it sends a personalized bedtime reminder to whatever email address is saved in settings, with the calculated bedtime and the user's sleep goal in the message body. If no email is saved yet, the button swaps out for a prompt telling the user to add their email in settings first. And after a successful send, a confirmation message appears below the button. With the scoring and reminders sorted, I wanted to make the Sleep tab feel more like how Whoop actually handles it. Step 5. Sleep tab redesign and calendar history. By this point, the Sleep tab was just a standalone log form. Useful, but not how Whoop actually does it. Whoop keeps everything sleep-related in one tab. You see last night's summary, you can log in a new entry, and you can tab back through past nights on a calendar. I wanted Slumber to work the same way, so I restructured the Sleep tab into 3 states. The default view shows last night's summary at the top, total sleep, sleep score, bedtime, wake time, with 2 buttons below it, log sleep and past nights. Tapping log sleep brings up the entry form within the same tab. Tapping past nights opens a color-coded calendar where each day with an entry gets a green, yellow, or red dot based on that night's sleep score. Tapping a date on the calendar loads that night's full sleep detail, stage breakdown, performance score, quality rating, and notes, all without leaving the tab. The Sleep tab is looking great. Now, let's talk about a date issue I ran into. Step 6. Date attribution fix. This one took a few rounds to get right. The mock data had a sleep session that started at 11:15 p.m. on May 15th and ended at 6:50 a.m. on May 16th. But the app was storing it under May 16th, the wake date, instead of May 15th, which is where the sleep actually started. So the first fix prompt addressed the display. The second had to go deeper and fix it at the database level, telling Base44 that the stored date must always be the bedtime date, not the wake time date, and not today's date. I also told it to default the date field on the log sleep form to yesterday rather than today, since you're almost always logging in the morning after you wake up. Now, even after those fixes, the home dashboard was still pulling from a different entry than the calendar. Turned out the 2 pages were using different database queries. I sent another targeted prompt to align them, telling the home dashboard to use the exact same query as the calendar, ordered by sleep date descending, taking the first results. And that surfaced a duplicate entry. 2 records, both dated May 15th, with slightly different values. One more fixed prompt to delete the incorrect one, and the data was finally consistent across all pages. Now, at this point, the data inconsistencies has stacked up enough that I made a call. Wipe everything and start fresh with a clean, fully specified database. That's on me. If I had been more precise in the very first prompt about how dates should be stored and how total sleep should be calculated, a lot of those earlier fixed prompts wouldn't have to be necessary. Lesson learned, and worth keeping in mind when you build your own app. Step 7. Resetting with clean mock data. I then gave Base44 a clean set of 7 mock entries from May 9 through May 15, with exact bedtimes, wake times, total sleep hours, quality ratings, and sleep scores specified for each day. And I told it that every page in the app must now source all its data exclusively from these 7 entries. The home dashboard, the calendar, the trend charts, the sleep depth. Everything reads from the same place. After a couple of additional small fixes to make sure the total sleep values were being read from the database correctly and not recalculated on the fly, the data was finally consistent everywhere. One last thing to verify before building the charts: the sleep depth calculation. Step 8. Sleep depth correction. I manually verified the sleep depth calculation against all 7 entries, adding up the differences between the sleep goal and actual sleep for each night. The correct total came out to negative 6.17 hours. The app was showing negative 5.4. One of the entries wasn't being included in the sum. A quick fix prompt to recalculate using all 7 entries with the exact values and the dial updated to negative 6.2. That matches. Step 9. Trends charts. With the data solid, the trends page gets its real numbers. 2 charts, a bar chart for total sleep duration across the last 7 days, and a line chart for sleep consistency. Now, for the bar chart, I specified the exact height for each bar based on stored data, color-coded by sleep score. Green for good nights, yellow for moderate, and red for poor. And I asked for a dashed horizontal line drawn at the user's sleep goal so you can immediately see which nights hit the target and which fell short. The consistency chart measures how close each bedtime was to the average bedtime across the week. A perfectly consistent bedtime scores 100. Every 30 minutes of deviation costs 30 points. It's a simple way to visualize one of the things sleep research consistently points to. Regular bedtimes matter as much as total sleep duration. Charts are done. Now for 2 of the features I'm most excited about, the journal and the AI sleep coach. Step 10. Journal and AI sleep coach. The journal page lets users tag behaviors that may have affected their sleep each day. Caffeine, alcohol, screen time, exercise, stress, and late meals. Each tag is a chip that toggles on and off. Selected chips highlight in green. The last 7 days of entries appear below as a compact log so you can start to see patterns over time. Now, the AI Sleep Coach lives on the homepage, just below the score dials. It reads your recent data, average sleep hours, sleep score, recovery score, sleep debt, and any journal tags from this week, and generates 2 to 3 sentences of plain language advice, not generic advice. Advice based on what your actual numbers are showing. There's a small refresh icon in the corner of the coach card so you can regenerate the insight manually. And it regenerates automatically each time you open the homepage. I did need to send one fix prompt here. The coach was initially referencing a sleep score of 85 instead of the correct value of 82. The AI was pulling from an approximated value rather than reading from the database in real time. One targeted prompt to fix the data source, and the numbers aligned. Alright, the coach is working. Now, the next feature is what makes Slumber feel like a proper health tracking tool. And it ties directly into the wearable sync question we'll get to at the end. Step 11. CSV Export. I added a CSV export. Whoop and Garmin both let you download your data as a CSV. It's basically the standard format across the whole health tracking industry. So I built the same thing into Slumber. One button in settings and it downloads a clean file with every sleep entry you've logged. Date, bedtime, wake time, total sleep hours, sleep score, recovery score, quality rating, and your notes. So if you ever do decide to pick up a wearable down the line, you'll already have a baseline of your sleep data to compare against. You can see how your self-reported numbers stack up against what the sensors are actually picking up. That's a pretty useful starting point. Okay, everything seems to be working now. Time to do a full sweep before publishing. Step 12. Final QA audit. I ran a full audit prompt, data consistency across all pages, responsiveness at every screen size, design consistency, empty states, button behavior, navigation links. Everything checked in one pass. A couple of small layout things came back, nothing major. The log sleep button label was getting truncated on mobile, which I fixed by shortening to just log sleep. Step 13. Publishing and security scan. Once everything looked good, I hit publish. I noticed a feature in Base 44 called Security Scan. Security Scan reviews your app for common vulnerabilities before it goes live. Things like exposed data, insecure endpoints, or authentication gaps. It's essentially an automated security review that runs against your generated code. Mine came back with a couple of issues, but everything was sorted within Base 44 in a few minutes. For a no-code tool, that's a genuinely useful layer of protection, especially if you're building something that handles user data like login credentials or personal health information like Slumber does. And that's Slumber. Everything you just saw, the scoring, the calendar, the AI coach, the trends, the reminders, was built from scratch with prompts alone. If Whoop is the inspiration, this is what you get when you build your own version of it in an afternoon. Now, to be clear, Everything in this build runs on test data that we manually entered. The sleep stage breakdown, light, deep, REM, awake, is based on estimated averages, not real sensor data. The next step is to connect it directly to a wearable, Whoop, Aura, Garmin, or any device that you use to track your sleep. And that's actually possible with Rook. It's an API platform that connects your Base 44 app to any major wearable through a single integration, so your actual sleep data flows in automatically. So, is Base 44 worth it for a build like this? Honestly, yes. What you just watched would have taken a developer a significant amount of time to build from scratch. We got a working version of all of it through prompts. The one thing I'll say is that precision matters. The more specific your prompts are up front, the less time you'll spend fixing things later. And that's not a limitation of Base 44. It's just the reality of building with AI. So if you want to try this yourself, the link to Base 44 is in the description. You can sign up completely for free and start building right away. And if you decide to upgrade, go for the yearly builder plan. It's the sweet spot for most people. You get your own custom domain, 250 monthly credits, 10,000 integration credits, and all the backend features. The builder plan is $50 a month, but on a yearly building, it brings it down to $40. And if you upgrade within the first 48 hours of signing up, you get an extra 10% off on top of that. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you did, you're probably going to enjoy this video as well because I built another cool app using Base 44. So just click here and I'll see you inside.